guys, welcome to the video. So in this one I'm going to be going over my top 10 superheroes of all time. If you like the video guys, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and also let me know what your favourite superheroes are. I'd be happy to read them. So before we get started, I just want to give a few honourable mentions. These are going to be Wonder Woman, Daredevil and Green Lantern. I've only just started reading these comics, so I'm not like pure huge on the characters yet, but from what I've been reading I really like so far, so I just wanted to get them out of the way before I get into the actual list. So kicking off at number 10 is actually Green Arrow. I'm a huge fan of Green Arrow. I really like his origin story. I love the whole fact he was stranded on an island for however years that version is. And I really like the idea of him being like this billionaire who actually like becomes poor, because I feel like it's a kind of different take. And I love the arcs he goes through, like becoming mayor and stuff. So I'm a huge fan of that. And if you want to know any good Green Arrow comics, a few would be The Longbow Hunters, Green Arrow Quiver and Green Arrow Year One, and also the Mike Grell run, and especially the first volume called Hunter's Moon. So yeah, Oliver Queen, Green Arrow, really great character. I'd highly recommend them to everyone. So my number 9 pick would be the Hulk. Hulk's origin, basically Gamma experiment going wrong, Bruce Banner becomes the Hulk, and it's a great story. I really love his comic books. I've recently just gotten back into him again after a few years of not reading them. So yeah, I would highly recommend the Hulk as a character, especially the new Immortal Hulk run. It's very well done, and it's basically this like horror take on the Hulk, which I thought is very well done, and it's my favourite version of him so far, because I prefer it when there's more just this like rampaging monster and this like horror grotesque idea of the character. I think it's done really well, and I love the dynamic between Bruce Banner and the Hulk. So yeah, the Hulk is a really good character. Overall, highly recommend it. And if you want any good reading comics for the Hulk, it is going to be Immortal Hulk sleeping recommendations, Planet Hulk, Mod War Hulk, and even Old Man Logan, because of that. In that book, he's like this. He's the villain of the book, and it's done very well. So my number 8 pick would be Venom. While he is a bit more of an anti-hero, I feel like these days in the comics he is becoming more and more of a hero, just with a darker twist. I'm a huge fan of Venom as a character. I love his origin story of Eddie Brock hating Spider-Man, Spider-Man having the symbiote, and then the symbiote passing on to Eddie Brock, and then he finding out that Peter Parker and Spider-Man is the same person, which basically makes him become Venom. I love his origin story. And I love now that in the comics he is basically like trying to redeem himself for everything he's done. He's going through this identity crisis because he'll like go to kill someone and hold back from it, and then think, am I really still that bad guy I was in the past? So it is a really good arc for the character, and I really love the fact that in the comics now he is becoming like, he's been recommended to be an Avenger. I think it's very well done. So yeah, if you want any good reading recommendations for Venom, I would say Venom Lethal Protector, Venom versus Carnage, the new Donny Cates Venom run, and also Vengeance of Venom. While it is he's a villain in that, it's still like a really good comic for him, and I would highly recommend all these books too. My number 7 pick would be the Red Hood. While he is more of an anti-hero again, like Venom, he is just such a great character, and I feel like now in the comics they've fully realised the potential they have with him through the Free Jokers run and the Red Hood and Outlaws comic. I really love the idea that he used to be Robin, and then Joker killed him, and then he becomes Red Hood as a way to mock Joker when coming back to life. So he's a really good character, and I love the dynamic he has with Batman, because they're not on the greatest terms, but they do respect each other. And while Batman hates the fact that Red Hood is a bit more brutal, as long as it doesn't kill, like they have a good relationship. So I love that whole aspect of the character. And like I said, he's been done very well recently in the comics, and I'm really loving who he is as a character these days, and he's been more and more in depth in all these new books. So I'm really happy about that. And if you want any good Red Hood reading recommendations, I would say the new Red Hood and Outlaws run, Batman Under the Red Hood, the Free Jokers comic, because there's a really good arc in that, and also Red Hood, The Lost Days. All great books and all deal with the character exceptionally well. My number 6 pick has to be Wolverine. I love Wolverine. I remember growing up, and like when I was younger, I would get like chopsticks, and I would get Play-Doh and put the chopsticks in the Play-Doh and run about the house like that. It was my family judged me like hell for it, but it was funny and I found it hilarious. But yeah, Wolverine is such a great character. He had such an amazing origin story, with the fact that he had his mind erased and basically became this weapon for a while until he was found by the X-Men in the comics. So I thought that was done very well, because at first he was just like this vicious killer who was sent to kill the Hulk. So I thought that is done very well, and his art throughout the comics is always good, because it's always him trying to deal with not being an animal and being a human. and I really like that aspect of the character, and I feel like it's done very well in the movies as well. And I think when you read the Wolverine comics, you do get a good sense of how in depth this character can actually be and how much deep they can actually go with him, because it does go a lot out of his mind and stuff to show who he really is. So I thought that's done very well, and also when he's fighting with X-Men, it's just awesome. So yeah, Wolverine, an amazing character. And if you want any good Wolverine reading recommendations, I would say the Wolverine by Chris Claremont when he's like set in Japan, the Old Man Logan comic, the Weapon X comic, and also the Wolverine Origins book showing you when he was born and stuff. So yeah, all great comics for an amazing character. So my number 5 pick would be Superman. I really love Superman as a character, and I feel like he just doesn't get a lot of love these days, purely because I feel like a lot of people just see him as way too powerful and way too boring, and don't realise the amount of depth that they go in with this character. Especially now in the Rebirth comics when he has a son, and it just goes into a lot more with him, and I think it's done very well. Because the whole Clark Kent and Superman alter ego thing, it works very well, more than people realise, because when he's Clark Kent, he acts a lot differently, and he sounds a lot different, and he like hunches his shoulder and stuff as well. So it's not just the glasses, and it kind of shows you two different sides to the same character, and you kind of see more of his vulnerable side when he is Clark Kent. So I think that is all done very well, and I love the fact in the comics that people around him die of natural causes, and no matter how powerful he is, it can't stop it, and that is what gets to him. So if you want any good reading recommendations for Superman, I would say All Star Superman, The Death of Superman, Superman Earth One, and also the Superman Man of Steel run. All amazing comics, and I feel like he's a very underrated character, so you should really check his comics out. My number 4 pick is probably a lot of people's favourite superhero, but mine's is Batman. I do love Batman as a character. He's not my favourite, but he is one of my favourites of all time, and I do think he's an amazing character. He has such an amazing rogues gallery, and as a character, he is just amazing. The fact that he's no kill rule, it kind of comes into a lot in the comics, a lot of the story arcs and stuff, and it gives him a lot of interesting character dynamics with characters like the Joker, the Red Hood and stuff. The fact that Joker just wants him to kill him and he won't do it. So I think that is all done extremely well. And I love his origin, the fact that he's just this kid, well, billionaire kid, whose parents get shot in front of him, and it just messes him up for the rest of his life and makes him become this like dark vigilante. So I think that's all done very well. And he has one of the best rogues gallery in comics, and obviously everybody knows who Batman is, you know, Joker, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, the lot. But yeah, so if you want some good Batman reading recommendations, I would say Batman, Death in the Family, Batman Nightfall, The Killing Joke, The Dark Knight Returns, Batman Year One. There is actually loads. But my my personal favourite Batman comic is actually, it's either going to be The Long Halloween or the Batman Arkham Asylum comic by Grant Morrison. Both are very good dark comics that I would highly recommend to any Batman fan or even just anyone wanting to get into Batman. My number 3 pick is actually Nightwing. I think he has everything good about him that comes from Batman. Plus, he's just a lot more comedic and relatable, and I just find that really good, and it's just a bit more refreshing in the comics. Obviously, Dick Grayson, he was the first Robin. He became Nightwing during the Teen Titans Judas Contract comic, and then that's him. He's his own hero now, and he has a lot of great comic books, and one of the best characters of all time, in my opinion. He's just funny, he's witty, and he just has this like really cool fighting style that really pops off the page. And also he has this like really cool costume, which I do love. Personally, I do love both the red and black costume and the black and blue costume. I do like red and black, so I think that just kind of works very well for him. I know a lot of people weren't fans of it, but I thought it was awesome. So yeah, if you want some good Nightwing reading recommendations, I would say the Nightwing New 52 run, the Teen Titans Judas Contract, and also the new Teen Titans Rebirth comics. I'm only on the first 2 volumes just now, so I don't know if it's good after that, but personally, he's also very good in the Titans comics as well. So anything Titans, Teen Titans, or Nightwing comics, very good comic books for him, and he's a really fun character to read. My second favourite superhero of all time is The Flash, especially the Barry Allen version, the first Flash. I think he's just such a cool character. He has a lot of cool powers, and personally for me, I got into The Flash while I was in high school, and ever since then, he has just stuck with me. He's got such a cool rogues gallery as well, like Captain Cold, Heatwave, Reverse Flash, who is actually one of my favourite supervillains of all time. I just love how he goes back in time just to mess with Barry's life, and it's caused for a lot of great storylines, which personally I love. And if you want a lot of really good Flash reading recommendations, I would say The Flash Rebirth, Flashpoint, The Dash to the Death of the Rogues, and also the first few volumes of the Flash Rebirth comics, particularly with Godspeed, because he's such a cool villain as well. So yeah, go check out The Flash. I feel like it deserves a lot more love than it gets, and personally, one of my favourite superheroes of all time. So my favourite superhero of all time is Spider-Man. Anybody that knows me knows I love Spider-Man. He's just one of the most relatable characters in comics. And it's just like one of those characters you just gravitate towards when you're younger, and it just kind of stuck with me ever since I was a wee boy. Because I just grew up loving Spider-Man. I watched all the cartoons, all the movies. I read a bunch of or loads of the comics when growing up. And Peter Parker is just like one of the best characters in fiction in my opinion, and he's got such an amazing array of villains like Green Goblin, Carnage, Venom, kind of jumping back and forth to be fair, Mysterio, Vulture, just loads of them, Doctor Octopus especially actually. So yeah, I would highly recommend checking out Spider-Man. I feel like most people have and almost everyone knows who he is, but he's an amazing character, he's got an amazing costume and just so many awesome comics throughout the years. And I would highly recommend reading uh, Craven's Last Hunt, Superior Spider-Man, the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, Spider-Man Life Story, and there's so many more to choose from. I can't like list them all off at the top of my head, but he's got so many great comics, and I'd highly recommend checking them all out because, in my opinion, he is the best character in all of fiction for me anyway. So guys, thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to subscribe, leave a like, and also comment what your favourite superheroes are. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out my other videos. And stay tuned for Saturday when I'm going to upload my Free Jokers book 3 review. And I really hope you enjoyed the video guys. Have a good day and I can't wait to see you in the next video. See ya!